flew home. Sorry, that gets to me. And a couple of days later, a general came up to him and said, "Mr. Hope, I just thought you'd like to know, those Marines just landed on a beach. It's a little island called Mariello. Before the fighting was over, they'd leave close to 60% of their people buried on that beach." And it really gets to me, because Bob said in his book, I can still see all of their faces. They're his boys. See, that's what always is amazing to me. Those who survived Mariello went back to Australia to be retrained, re-equipped, have recruits added in, and then sent to land on another island. And again, and again, and again. A lot of people said we should never have dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Bob Hope always disagreed, because he can remember all of the faces. I cannot imagine the welcoming Mr. Hope got when he crossed over. Had to be a parade. So after World War II, the number of dead we had was enormous. And an awful lot of them never came back to our shores. And the nation needed a day to remember them all. And it was after World War II that Memorial Day became very common everywhere. And then Congress decided to get involved. In 1968, they passed a Uniform Holiday Act. Now, this was not an act aimed at people in uniforms. This was an act to make certain holidays more uniform on the calendar. Columbus Day was moved to a Monday, so we could get a 3-day weekend. Veterans Day was moved to a Monday, so we could get a 3-day weekend. Washington's birthday, don't really care when it happened, moved to a Monday so we could get a 3-day weekend. And then later on, we want to be politically correct and not leave anybody out, so it became President's Day. And of course, Memorial Day got moved to the last Monday of May so we could have a 3-day weekend to kick off the summer. The Uniform Holiday Act. Actually, there were several states that ignored it until the early 70s. They still had it on May 30th. But they finally gave in. Now we all celebrate it on the last Monday of May. And like I said, sadly, for a lot of people, it's just time to fire up the barbecue. Time to make the vacation plans. To have it 3 days off. Yay. And let's not really give a thought to all the men and women in uniform that have given their lives, that have sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice so that you could enjoy that barbecue, or could be here on a Sunday in a spiritless church, because you have that right. Or to be able to stand up and say, war is evil outside a military grave, because you have that right, because they died to secure it. Mighty big of our nation to give 1 or 2 days a year to remember those who served. And it takes something really special to be able to do that. To steal from the movie A Few Good Men, to stand on a line and say, you will not come through. Whether they served in peacetime, wartime, whether they actually saw combat or not, all of them know the second they put on that uniform, they're on that line. They're standing on that line and they're saying, I stand for something. You know, I saw a vet from the recent war had one of his legs blown off from a landmine. They flew him to emergency hospital there in Iraq, got him stable, flew him to Germany. They did surgery on him, saved most of the leg, from the knee down it's gone. Flew him back here to the States, where he received further treatment. And then recently, he got an artificial leg, and he tried to sign back up. He said, why not? The new leg actually works better than the old one. That is worth honoring. And not simply just putting flowers on their graves, which is pretty, that's nice. Flags, that's nice. But remembering them in our prayers. And more than that, I expect more from you. As a spiritualist, you know you can send a word to them. You know you can let them know what you think, how you feel. If somebody was in your family that served, talk to them about it. Thank them for it. If you don't have anybody in your family that you can send the word to from the other side, plenty of others would like to hear from you. However, I'll let you in on a little secret so that you don't get too maudlin when you're sending messages to the other side. Most of them just want to chat, want to know how things are going. Occasionally you run into somebody from the other side, a vet from the other side, who would like to get a message across to somebody, and that can sometimes be heartbreaking because a lot of times the spirits, and especially the longer they've been over on the other side, the less they think about physical things. You know, we often ask, why can't a spirit just come in and say, hi, I'm John Smith of 1234 Main Street? Well, they can. Obviously, it is possible. We've had spirits come in and say, hi, my name is. But a lot of that kind of starts to fade. You know, when I was a little one, we lived in a different house than my parents do today. I can describe to you of that house one or two features. Asked me to draw a floor plan, I couldn't do it. That was a long time ago. Memory fades. It happens here, and it happens on the other side. So sometimes these vets may come to you and say, can you get a message across to somebody? And you say, I would be happy to. Who? And they'll give you maybe a first name, and that's it. Where do they live? Oh, it was that white house with the beautiful pink roses. I'll address that letter right now.